Larry Colmus.
All right, Tom, all in line. They're off in the Longines Breeders Cup Distaff. And 'Tis Midnight comes off quickly from the inside, and there goes the mare from Peru, Valiant Amelia, alongside. Between those two, Untapable, and now Untapable and 'Tis Midnight. The two Californians will battle it out early. L'amour de ma vie now squeezes through on the inside into third. Valiant Amelia fourth. Untapable and Close Hatches are right together. Untapable is wide. Close Hatches is even farther out wide on that first turn. Then Ria Antonia, followed by a ground-saving Belle Gallanty. 4 lengths to Unbridled Forever. Stanwyck is second last, and Don't Tell Sophia trails. 22 and 4 for the opening quarter mile. A brisk pace for their run up the backstretch, set by 'Tis Midnight, who's a neck in front of Untapable. L'amour de ma vie right in behind them. Close Hatches is close up, running in fourth to the outside of her. Ria Antonia is down on the inside. Valiant Amelia, and then comes Untapable. She is now 4.5 lengths off the lead up the backstretch. Belle Gallanty is next. They went 46 and 3 for a half mile. The pace is settled somewhat. Stanwyck Unbridled Forever, and Don't Tell Sophia continues to buy time at the back as 'Tis Midnight and Untapable continue their scramble into the far turn. They are stride for stride on the lead. Close Hatches, and now Untapable is moving up on the outside. Untapable is on the charge. Close Hatches is not going on. She's dropping back again today. And Don't Tell Sophia is rocketing by horses on the far outside. They're at the top of the stretch, and Untapable has taken the lead on the outside of Untapable. Don't Tell Sophia is third on the far outside. Untapable into the final 16th in front. On the inside, Untapable fights on. Don't Tell Sophia is third, but as they come to the wire, the Super Filly has done it. Untapable has won the distaff. It's close for second between Untapable and Don't Tell Sophia. Ria Antonio is fourth. Untapable, a champion.
She is indeed a champion, as you had a look at Steve Asmussen, her trainer, as Rosie Napravnik gets her first Breeders' Cup Distaff victory. Steve, who has had a brilliant season. Again, her only loss was against males in the Haskell. She has been dominant in her division, and now she beats older mares for the first time.
Nothing to really hold your breath out through the course of the race. Going into the first turn, Rosie Napravnik on Untapable, Joelle Rosario on Close Hatches got forced wide. They took the worst of it. But in that kind of situation, when you're on horses that are that good, there's no other option really. And Rosie didn't panic, Joelle didn't, and they kind of ran as a team around there. Sometimes you don't have to be a pilot, you can be a passenger, at least to a certain point in the race. I thought Rosie held her cool really, really well, and just rationed out Untapable speed as they went through the course of the race, and she's clearly the best filly in the country.
Oh yeah, clearly, yeah. But I mean, you can look at her margin of victory. You can say, okay, she wasn't really all that dominant. It wasn't like the Kentucky Oaks where she won by 4.5. But don't underestimate how wide she was. I mean, she was 5 wide first turn, 5 wide second turn. She gave up a lot of ground.
Donna.
Rosie, this filly's 6th graded stakes this year. The first time for her to run against older fillies and mares, and she beat them. How great is she?
She's so awesome. She was so good today. Down the backside, I had so much confidence, and she just pulled me around the second turn. She's just always been a really, really special filly, and I can't tell you how special this win is for me.
She gives you your second Breeders' Cup win, your first one in the distaff. This is also Steve Asmussen's first distaff win. What's it mean to you to win these races?
Well, more than anybody will know, I can guarantee that. Steve's done such a great job with her, and she's very, very special.
She looked like she was going to get hung a little bit wide in the first turn. Were you concerned?
We were a little bit wide in both turns, but I mean, we had a wide post, and I wasn't sure about how it would set up, but it certainly didn't really matter.
I could only hear it from the backside. It sounded like Don't Tell Sophia was charging through the stretch. Any concerns that she was going to get caught, or you just had too much horse?
You know what? I didn't look back once. I actually did hear the announcer say somebody was flying, which is weird because you don't normally hear anything. But I had a ton of horse. I mean, she wasn't at all, getting to her last leg. So she's just great today, and it's just a really good win. It means a whole lot to me.
She gave you a nice start to the year, now a nice end of the year. Congratulations. Rosie, let's go to Tom.
Well, she and Rosie have had quite a season. Many memorable moments. Perhaps this is the greatest of all. Wide trip didn't matter. Older fillies and mares didn't matter. The second Breeders' Cup win for Rosie and the first in the distaff for her. Let's go to Lafitte.
Here with owner Ron Winchell. Ron, this filly has now won the two most prestigious races for mares in the country, the Kentucky Oaks and the Breeders' Cup Distaff. How does it feel?
We couldn't be even more proud of her. Her accomplishments this year are just phenomenal. Accomplishment of winning the Oaks in here is a great cap to a wonderful year for her.
Any anxious moments? She was wide going into that first turn.
There is always an anxious moment in a race like this, but she was a little wide, but she seemed like she was going great, and we're just so proud of her.
How nervous were you going in? Such a heavy favorite, so much expected in such a significant horse race.
For me, anytime you're the favorite, it's always something that makes you a little nervous. You know, with her credentials, with a lot of high expectations, don't want to let anybody down. Just wanted to show up and run her race today, and obviously she did that. We're proud of her.
Congratulations, Ron. Tom?
All right, Rosie acknowledging the cheers of the crowd. She has established herself as one of America's top runners. Don't Tell Sophia, by the way, won the photo over Untapable to get the place spot. Here's how Rosie and Untapable did it.
Going into the first turn, I mean, Rosie, like she said, there's really wasn't a whole lot she could do about it. You just got to bite the apple as a rider. She knows that her direct competitor is outside of her, losing even more ground. And I'm sure Rosie's thinking here, you know, the horses I have to beat are probably going to have to come around me, and closed hatch is directly outside of me, so she just rides the train right here. Lets Untapable get in a rhythm, and going back to the spring, that's what Steve Asmussen had said, that Rosie fits her well because she lets her get into a rhythm, nothing rushing about the way she rides her, and bides her time, and it's exactly what she did. She put away closed hatches on the turn, and let's look at, probably nobody's getting through because Rosie has the hammer right here. She can push all the other ones down against the rail. She sees a horse flying on the inside, so any competitor has to go even wider than she does. And she already mentioned she knew how much filly she had. She knew she wasn't getting to the bottom of her. So, as Rosie said, she was pretty confident to stretch.
Rosie likes these Tappet horses. She nearly ran down Golden Sense with Tappet Sure in the dirt mile, finishing second. Right. And now she takes the distaff with a daughter of Tappet, Untapable, as you see Steve Asmussen now.
Homebred by the Winchell Thoroughbreds. Here's Steve Asmussen's reaction as they come down the stretch. And Steve is with Kenny Rice.
All right, thanks, Tom. Steve, congratulations. Your thoughts as this race was unfolding?
Can't say enough how proud I am of Untapable and the whole team, Scott and Carlos and Rosie, and just what an amazing mare to put us on this stage and perform as well as she did today when this much mattered.
Jerry Bailey was just talking about how you've always had confidence in letting Rosie do her work out there on Untapable, and it's been a great combination, hasn't it? Like a very special filly, would you say?
She's definitely, today's definitely makes her a champion, and I think that's enough said. She's truly a champion.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Tom.
All right, Kenny, not only a champion, but depending on what happens in the Breeders' Cup Classic, she could be Horse of the Year in the voting at the end of the year. Let's take a look at the payouts now. Payouts presented by Express Bet. Untapable as the favorite, $520. Don't Tell Sophia just edged out Untapable in a photo for second. Untapable third. You see the exacta, $27. Trifecta and superfecta payoff as well. Untapable the favorite, and Don't Tell Sophia the $1,000 purchase, who finished second and did push her bankroll over $1 million. So Rosie and Untapable basking in the glow of the winner's circle. After this victory in the $2 million Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff, she is a champion. Untapable wins the Distaff to cap off the first day of Breeders' Cup 31.
Winning rider Rosie Napravnik and her mother Cindy, very proud of her daughter and what she's accomplished today. Rosie, your second victory on a Breeders' Cup stage, Shanghai Bobby in the Juvenile a couple of years ago. You win the Kentucky Oaks, the Breeders' Cup Distaff with Untapable. What does this filly mean to your career?
First, I just want to thank Steve and Ron Winchell for having me on the filly to begin with, and also letting me get back on her after I was injured. As far as how much it means to me, I can't really explain, but I'm going to have to explain it to my mom first. I wanted to tell you in person that my retirement starts on Sunday, and Joe and I are starting a family. I told you I was going to give you good TV.
Congratulations on the win and your growing family, Rosie. Wow, what a moment. Steve, this filly, what makes her so special?
I think that it's just the Winchell breeding program and the talent that she has, and just can't say how proud I am. You know, Rosie gave her some tremendous trips this year, and the culmination of a great year for a great filly.
Rosie, why now? Why announce your retirement now and decide to tell your mother on this stage?
Well, I wasn't going to tell anybody until Sunday, but I figured it couldn't be a better way to go out with this filly. She means so much to me. Like I said, I'm so thankful for Steve and Winchell Farm, the whole family. But I wanted to tell my mom in person, so I had to bring her up on stage because I didn't want to tell everybody else first.
What a performance, Untapable. Congratulations, everyone. Tom?
All right, Lafitte, wow. As Rosie announces her retirement, but she does go out with a bang on Untapable. She wants to start a family with her husband, Joe, and announcing it on national television with your mother standing nearby. What a moment.
I'm even more impressed with Untapable and Rosie. 2 passengers aboard, and she still wins the distaff. But I also want to give a shout-out to trainer Steve Asmussen, the great job he did. Earlier in the week, he told us that the goal this year was the Kentucky Oaks. And for him to peak this filly for the Oaks and then let her down and bring her back to the level that she can win the distaff and the filly of the year. Awesome job, Steve.
And what a year for Steve Asmussen. Of course, it began with some PETA allegations, which so far have amounted to nothing, although some investigations are ongoing. But to end the season, a rocky season, with this victory has to be extra special.
It's been very much a roller coaster ride for Steve Asmussen, and he's been very forthcoming in talking about it with us. Right. But what a great way to end it. I mean, if you recall 5 years ago, he had Rachel Alexandra, who was a Hall of Fame filly, who was Horse of the Year as a 3-year-old filly. She didn't win the distaff. She didn't run in it. But she outpolled Zenyatta for Horse of the Year. And now, with Untapable, if things break right in the Classic tomorrow, as you said, she's in there with the shot at Horse of the Year herself.
And, of course, with Ron Winchell and his mother, the owners and breeders of Untapable, the ones that stuck by Steve Asmussen when those allegations surfaced.
Now squeezes through on the inside into third. Valiant Amelia fourth. Untapable and Close Hatches are right together. Untapable is wide. Close Hatches is even farther out wide on that first turn. Then Rhea Antonia, followed by a ground-saving Belle Gallanty. 4 lengths to Unbridled Forever. Stanwyck is second last, and Don't Tell Sophia trails. 22 and 4 for the off the lead up the backstretch. Belle Gallanty is next. They went 46 and 3 for a half mile. The pace is settled somewhat. Stanwyck, Unbridled Forever, and Don't Tell Sophia continues to buy time at the back as Tis Midnight and Iotapa continue their scramble into the far turn. They are stride for stride on the lead. Close Hatches, and now Untapable is moving up on the outside. Untapable is on the charge. Close Hatches is not going on. She's dropping back again today. And Don't Tell Sophia is rocketing by horses on the far outside. They're at the top of the stretch, and Untapable has taken the lead on the outside of Iotapa. Don't Tell. Opening quarter mile, a brisk pace for their run up the backstretch, set by Tis Midnight, who's a neck in front of Iotapa. L'Amour de ma Vie right in behind them. Close Hatches is close up running in fourth to the outside of her. Rhea Antonia is down on the inside. Valiant Amelia, and then comes Untapable. She is now 4.5 lengths.
Is Larry Colmus.
All right, Tom, all in line. They're off in the Longines Breeders Cup Distaff. And Tis Midnight comes out quickly from the inside, and there goes the mare from Peru, Valiant Amelia alongside. Between those two, Iotapa, and now Iotapa and Tis Midnight. The two Californians will battle it out early. L'Amour de ma Vie.